Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. When it comes to shadowing, as I've mentioned again and again, you don't need to be understanding anything, and in fact, it's better if you don't, because this will allow you the freedom to repeat and imitate words without worrying about their meaning. This is why in the past I've resisted recording shadowing texts for you, because it is my feeling that you want me to record shadowing texts so that you can understand the words as well as imitating and repeating them. As I've mentioned again and again, you should not be looking to understand texts when it comes to shadowing. Think of a little boy. He just hears, he repeats his mother's words. He has no idea what they mean. He can't read or write. He just hears and says and smiles. However, many of you have asked me to give you stuff to shadow with. So for the remainder of this podcast, I'm going to be reading a text which you can use for shadowing. Now, there's a couple of things. Just like the last time I did this, the text is going to be a little bit hard because I don't want you just to be repeating my words in your usual voice. I want you to be imitating how I speak. Secondly, you should be paying attention to pitch and tone, stress of certain words, as well as picking up exactly how I speak and where I breathe. Okay, so I'm going to do these shadowing recordings now. So get yourself ready, please. You should be sitting down in a comfortable place, and you should not be thinking about my words. You should be trying to copy and imitate my voice. Okay. Remember as well, you should be open enough to be shadowing with anybody. Okay, you shouldn't be waiting for a particular voice or person. That's not how it works. Okay, you need a wide range of voices with different tones. So this is just really an experiment, something temporary to get you started. In English, we often use the expression, let it be so now, for something which is temporary. So the shadowing that I'm recording here is only because I'm taking the approach of let it be so now. Okay, and that just means let it happen now, but this is not something that you should be expecting in the future in your shadowing journey. Okay, you shouldn't keep running back to me to say, oh, can you do shadowing texts? You should be growing from this. So this is a very basic and a beginning experience of shadowing. And I'm taking a let it be so now approach just to remind you that it's temporary. Okay, so by the way, that expression let it be so now, it simply means let it happen at this moment, but don't expect it to continue. You might hear a boss say that, well, yeah, we can introduce that, but only on a let it be so now approach. Yeah, let it be a temporary arrangement. Yeah, I can do that for you, but remember, it's let it be so now. It's a biblical thing. Okay, that's where it comes from. I'm not able to tell you exactly where in the Bible it came from, but it's certainly the words of Jesus. I think he was talking about marriage, actually. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to shadowing. So, are you ready? Sitting down. Okay. You ready? Ready to begin? Yeah. Get yourself comfortable. Look straight ahead, legs apart, feet on the floor. Let's begin. The Peace Corps is an independent agency and program of the United States government that trains and deploys volunteers to provide international development assistance. It was established in March 1961 by an executive order of President John F. Kennedy and authorized by Congress the following September by the Peace Corps Act. The official goal of the Peace Corps is to assist developing countries by providing skilled workers in fields such as education, health, entrepreneurship, women's empowerment, and community development. Volunteers are American citizens, typically with a college degree, who are assigned to specific projects in certain countries based on their qualifications and experience. They often work with other stakeholders, governments, schools, non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations, and entrepreneurs. Following 3 months of technical training, Peace Corps members are expected to serve at least 2 years in the host country, after which they may request an extension of service. Volunteers are strongly encouraged to respect local customs, learn the prevailing language, and live in comparable conditions. In its inaugural year, the Peace Corps had 900 volunteers serving 16 countries, reaching its peak in 1966 with 15,556 volunteers in 52 countries. Following budget cuts in 1989, the number of volunteers declined to 5,100, though subsequent increases in funding led to renewed growth into the 21st century by its 50th anniversary in 2011. There were over 8,500 volunteers serving in 77 countries. Since its inception, more than 240,000 Americans have joined the Peace Corps and served in 142 countries. Right, let's just take a break there before we continue. As I mentioned before, you shouldn't be looking for meaning in this, okay? You should really be focusing on the sounds. This recording that I'm doing, you should really see this as some kind of practice of speaking, and therefore I'm not going to include a script with today's podcast because I'm worried that you're going to be using it in order to practice learning words instead of using it to practice pronunciation. Okay, so there's no transcripts today because I want you to be using this podcast to be practicing pronunciation. So if I give you a script, it's going to make you a bit lazy. Shadowing is all about hearing and saying and imitating sound. It's not about trying to learn words. I'm sorry I have to keep repeating that, but it seems that some of you are still reaching out to me saying, oh, can I learn vocabulary while shadowing? Not while shadowing you can't, no. But of course you can go back and review the text if you want to learn words. But this podcast today is really to get you to hear and say. All right? So the next shadowing text is going to be one of my poems, which I've written about a local witch who was burned during the witch trials. Very, very sad story. Her name was Bessie Dunlop. She was an old lady, and she was accused of witchcraft. And she's very famous here because of her sad death after she was arrested. Now, of course, like a lot of poetry, there's difficult words, difficult pronunciations in here, and that's why I've chosen it, because I want to make sure that you're not trying to translate it. All right, so here we are. Again, make sure you're sitting down, legs apart, eyes straight ahead. Let's begin. Okay, so this poem is for Bessie Dunlop. Upon your brow of vanished hours, a shadow does appear of lost and lonely sufferings which took away your years. A soul now flies with knowledge strong, a higher recompense. A woman's death to feed a hate has no reason, rhyme, or sense. First they cried, you evil witch, for things misunderstood, laying what's unclear to them beneath the pyres of wood. Today, just like your time, dear Bess, the voice of darkness cries, to put to death and out of sight beliefs for which we strive. Your life and trials are teaching us that hatred comes from naught. Let us work to welcome in new ways upon our thoughts, to see the good in different ways, expressions of our souls, recompense for missing years which bias cruelly stole. May our minds indeed be held with love so strong and deep. Away from hate we turn ourselves to truth that all are free. When we point to neighbours' faults with pinions cruelly slanted, may we recall when hate does fall to take it not for granted. May your soul rise up today to teach and bless mankind, so we may live much better lives than hatred, walking blind. Right, and that's it. So those are both some shadowing texts. If you want to go back and review these again and again, don't look for meaning. Copy my words, copy my pronunciation as much as you possibly can. If you're worried about vowel sounds, just make sure that you're pulling your mouth down, okay? And if you want to record yourself repeating these, bring them with you to one of our future lessons, and I'll be happy to go over them for you. And that's it. Okay, so I'll catch up with you all again soon, and I wish you all a blessed day. Take care. Bye.